That's it, guys. That was the last guitar solo that I'm recording for my new album. So we are on a roll with this. I've been sharing some of the journey, especially this past week, sharing some of the journey with you, mainly just to keep myself accountable, to keep it rolling. I've got some information that I need to share with you as well. This thing's moving really fast, so hang around till the end of the video. But I want to kind of break down this guitar solo and just my thought process. I think these conversations can help you as you're writing music, whether it's guitar solos or rhythms or lyrics or whatever, just the concepts we're going to talk about here. By the way, that, even though that's the last solo I'm recording, actually it's not. It's the last song, but I'm going to redo that because there's a very sloppy part. Actually, let's just hear it by itself. That part where I'm playing those fast, just a few notes there, just a few little notes. It's just kind of like a 3-note pattern several times. You know, that was very sloppy, as you just heard. I share this stuff with you because guys, I don't want to be that guitar player out here on YouTube or wherever that I just nail it down perfectly and that's the part that you guys hear. Of course, that's not going to be on the album. The better one that I'm going to record in a minute here is going to be on the album. But I like to share where I screw up with you guys because we're all human. I don't care how long you've been playing guitar. I don't care how good you are at guitar. Pick your favorite guitar player. They've all made mistakes and they all still do make mistakes. So I want this to be real for you watching this. I want it to be real for me as well. I don't want to just show you the polished stuff that we put out there, okay? Yes, the album's not going to have the screw up here, the sloppiness here. It's going to be a much better version. But guys, honestly, it may take me another 21 times recording that very short solo that you heard. Sometimes the shorter solos with the more melodic notes, and when you do have a slight little fast part in there, sometimes those can be the most difficult to nail than just shredding up and down the neck. Sometimes that can be easy because you're just kind of in that flow when you're playing fast. And those of you who play fast, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's those smaller segments. You're like, I only got a few seconds to really pull off something cool here. And I like what I wrote for the solo, so I'm going to keep that pattern. I'm going to keep that actual solo. I just need to record it better. So after I finish this, I'm going to get back to it. But let me just break down some of the simple parts of the solo real quick. You see, I'm starting out here just with a few simple notes that are very close together. I like to do vibrato in certain parts. Now, I had somebody tell me the other day that you do your vibrato wrong. It should be smoother or whatever. Look, guys, I play the way I play. What I want to say to you, and this is kind of part of our guitar chat here that we're having. I get it if you're new at guitar. There's some bad habits maybe you don't want to develop and some good ones you do want to develop. But at the end of the day, once you've been playing for a while, I've been playing guitar since 1989. Once you've kind of established your own way of playing, then that's just how you play, guys. And someone may love it, someone else may not like it, some may say, well, that's the wrong way or whatever. But as an established guitar player and musician, I want you to know that the way you do things is perfectly okay because that's your style, that's the way you do things. In any case, I like to put a little vibrato on there. It just sounds really cool. Sometimes I'll do a faster one, a lot of times I'll do it a little slower, so it just depends on what I'm feeling and what I want for the guitar solo. And we're gonna get to that little part that I just talked about in a couple of seconds. But I also throw some bends in there. I love throwing those bends in there, and just sometimes they're like a whole note or a half note or whatever. So yeah, those are just some things that I like to throw in there when I have just a little bit of time for a guitar solo. This specific song, that's the only solo on the song. This arrangement, the arrangement for this song, is very unorthodox. It's not like verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, solo, whatever, and nothing wrong with that. A lot of my songs are like that. This one is not. This one is a darker song too, by the way. Wait till you hear it, man. I can't wait to get this album in your hands, which we're about to get to that as well. The other thing is ask yourself, Who are you writing music for? Are you writing just to impress other guitar players, or do you want to write a song where people just love the song? Yeah, the solo's cool. Yeah, the riffs are cool and all that good stuff, right? People hear the guitar, it's great, but the overall song is your focus. I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. There's no right or wrong answer. There's only what you want and what your intent is, but I do think it's healthy to be aware of your intent. Who are you writing for? Do you want to just impress other guitar players? Do you want a shred guitar album and show everybody how fast you can play? There's nothing wrong with that, but be honest about what you want. What is your intent for that song or that album? And realize that's probably going to be your audience, other guitar players, okay? Again, nothing wrong with that. Now, let's flip it over. Or are you writing songs just for the sake of writing a really awesome song? Sure, there might be some shred, but there might not be, or it might not be as much. Sure, some of the rhythms may be complex, but that's not really the goal. The goal is not to look what I can do, or bet you can't do this type of thing. You just want to create a really cool song that you can appreciate and that you hope that people that like that style of music appreciate as well. See, sometimes we try to do complicated stuff on guitar, or we do complicated stuff on guitar, but that might only resonate with guitar players. Again, nothing wrong with that, guys. Just know your intent for what you're writing. What are you playing for? And even if you're not releasing anything, I know some of you do this as a hobby, and it's a beautiful hobby to have. It's great. But maybe you get a little frustrated sometimes because it's like, well, man, I think I need to shred, right? So I just got to play as fast as I possibly can. Where if you search yourself deep down inside, maybe that's not the goal. Maybe that's what you think your goal should be, because as you're scrolling, that's all you see. Everybody's playing as fast as they can. Nothing wrong with that. That's great if that's what you really want. But deep down inside, you might really just want to play some cool guitar riffs, right? Or some licks as well. And you might not be worried so much about the bet you can't do this type of thing. You might just want to play some good music. And sometimes that really awesome music, it's not as complex. Some of it may be, but some of it may not. So I just want to put that out there. Be aware of that, guys. And I have to tell myself this too. This album that I'm releasing, okay, and this is coming up soon. We're getting to that. This album that I'm releasing, though, I didn't write it for other guitar players. I really didn't. I hope you guys love it as a guitar player. I really do. I hope that you find it captivating and intriguing. But more than the guitar parts, more than the solos, more than the rhythms and the chops and all that, I hope that you guys love the songs themselves. I hope you love the progressions. I hope you love the meaning behind the songs. I've got 7 vocal tracks. I hope you like my vocals too. You know, I realize I'm not Rob Halford. I'm not Sebastian Bach. I'm not David Coverdale or any of the greats, but I love to sing, you know, so I'm putting this out there. And just like guitar playing, vocals the same. Find your own style. Develop your own style. Find your own voice if you're a singer. You don't have to sound like this person or that person. You don't have to play like that person or that person, okay? I really encourage you to develop your own style and embrace that. Embrace the natural ability that you have and that you're also building, okay? I think each and every one of us, we have this thing within us that is natural, okay? You're playing guitar, you've got to a certain level, and you've got a certain sound, a certain style that's starting to come out and develop. Or those of you who have been playing for longer periods of time, well, you already have that, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Man, it's such a cool thing. It's such a cool thing when your spouse or your friends, they just hear you start playing and they know it's you, or they hear you start singing. It's like, okay, I know that voice. You have developed your signature style, and that is far better than trying to sound like this person or play like this person or whatever, okay? So I say that to encourage you guys, okay? I hope we got a lot of meat and potatoes out of this little chat. Album update, and I'll make this quick and we'll end the video. So I'm at the tail end, guys. The solos are done. I'm gonna re-record this, you know, messy, sloppy solo I just shared with you guys. And then I've got vocals. I've already started recording the vocals. I plan to have those wrapped up by next week. Of course, you guys know the drums and rhythms and bass and all that. That's been done for quite some time now. This thing has been in the works for a couple of years. I have decided, though, guys, that I really don't want to mix this thing myself. I've mixed all my albums myself. If I have to do it, I will. I really don't want to do it though. Now, I've already decided I am going to have it professionally mastered. Of course, I've had all my albums mastered by someone else. That's not something that I want to touch. I don't do that on a daily basis or weekly or like an ever basis, so I'm not going to attempt to do that on my own. That's something for someone who professionally does that. And I say that to you to just really think about that. Sometimes it's better to hire out those things that you're not so great at or that you just don't want to do. If I have to mix my album, I will. I'm definitely not mastering it, but I had a conversation with engineer and producer Nick Z. Now, some of you know Nick Z from our platform, Metal Mastermind. I own that platform, co-own the platform with Ken Candelas. That's where all my guitar courses are housed. Our songwriting course, we got a lot of other courses on that site now. Is something that we've been building for the past a little over 2 years now, I would say. And Nick Z has a course on there as well for mixing, but he also, this is what he does for a living. He also mixes artists and bands and that sort of thing. So he's not some dude in his bedroom, kind of like me here. Yeah, I'm gonna mix your album, bro. There's nothing like that. This guy is a professional at it. He does this for a living. This is what he does every single day. So we had a long conversation last night, and Nick, thank you so much for spending the time with me. And I've decided what I really want is for not only for him to master it, he's certainly going to master it. We've established that. He is going to master the album. I would like for him to mix it. So to help cover this, guys, I have set up a GoFundMe account here, so you can contribute if you want to the cost of the mixing and the mastering, the production, and all the stuff I got to do at the tail end of this thing. So real quick, I'm going to have Nick Z master the album, even if nobody contributes to this. I'm still going to have him master it, but the contributions that I get from this GoFundMe, that's going to determine whether or not I have him mix and master. The mixing is a pretty penny. That's a job, guys. That's an intense process. And again, Nick Z, he's not an amateur at this. He's a professional at this. This is what he does for a living on a daily basis. So by no means do I want him to give me some kind of special discount or anything like that. You know, we've worked out a very fair price. You guys will see the breakdown on the GoFundMe project there for, you know, the mixing and the mastering. Now, if we don't reach the goal, guys, then okay, well, that means I'm stuck mixing this thing myself, which, hey, that's fine. I'll do my best at it. And of course, I'll have Nick master it. And there's some other production costs after that. I would like to get CDs for this album. Toying around with vinyl, I'm not really sure about that yet. If there's a high enough demand for that, okay, I might go that route. And of course, there's the photo shoot, the artwork, and all that sort of thing. But the main thing is the mixing. That's the main thing. And of course, the mastering. So guys, there is a link in the description of this video. If you'd like to contribute, hey, please feel free to do that. I greatly appreciate that. I did this about 2 years ago for this album, for the drums for the album, and I almost got enough to cover the drums. I hired Cameron Fleury to do the drums for this album. Hired him again. He's the one that did the drums for the Masterpiece album that I released back in 2019. So I thank you guys for that. Some of you remember that. Some of you contributed to that. So I really appreciate that. So yeah, for this final phase, guys, this is it. I have a very short window. And guys, anything sent over the amount of what we need here to do this thing, it's just going to be poured back into marketing, into advertising and promoting. This is something you have to do if you want to get your music out there. So I'm going to do that anyway. So guys, if you'd love to be a part of this, I appreciate it. Again, hey, if you don't, if you decide, no, I'm not giving you more money, Jason, you know, no way, man. Guys, that's okay too. Hey, just please keep watching my channel if it's giving you value. Guys, drop any questions in the comments on what we went over, what we talked about earlier for the guitar parts there, for the leads. Again, I think what we talked about translates over not just to lead guitar and solos, but to rhythms, to vocals, to writing lyrics, to everything, you know. I just want to encourage you to be you, be your own guitarist, be your own musician. You don't have to try to sound like someone else or be as good as someone else, because that's very subjective anyway. The last thing we need is somebody sounding like someone else. You have a unique talent within you, and those of you who write music and you're in a band or you're doing the solo thing, hey, we need to hear that. The world needs that, okay? You were created for that, so I encourage you to push forward with that. And in talking about that, and in talking about this GoFundMe thing that I have, guys, if you guys ever want me to sit down and do a video on, you know, my marketing process and how I get stuff out, and it's more than just having a GoFundMe to handle the mixing and mastering, but if you guys want me to go in more detail in that, hey, let me know that in the comments as well. I'd be happy to make a video on that. I don't have it all figured out, but hey, I've gotten this far, so I am willing and ready to share information with you, those of you who want that. So guys, thank you for watching my video. Thank you for all the support. Stay tuned for more and keep it metal.